Outer Rim News with Austin Gordy, Ray Snedeker, and Ashley Wilbex.
I got a bad feeling about this.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Outer Rim News. It's been quite a while since we last met. We even brought along a new
not too new
Co-host.
Well, you did guest star in a couple, but now you are a permanent fixture here at the Outer Rim News, right?
Signed away my soul.
We answered the emails. We answered all your fan emails. They were like, get him on the show ASAP. And so a couple of years later, we made it happen.
A couple of years later. Yeah, it's been a couple of years. Last time you heard from us, we were doing a podcast. Now we're doing the YouTube thingy, and it'll probably be a podcast too at some point after I download this episode and load it up on the podcasty thingies that everybody likes. But as always, you heard in the intro who we are. You probably know us if you've been listening to the Outer Rim News podcast in the past. We're back to give you all the Star Wars news and commentary and reviews and everything else Star Wars related. And do we want to get into why we were gone for a little while? It was a 2 year.
I don't know, man. Why were we gone?
It was it was about a 2 year.
I can tell you why. That was how long it took Ashley to recover from the Rise of Skywalker.
It was very much so.
I'm sorry.
The reason. How it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to recover from the Rise of Skywalker, and then it took Luke being in the Boba Fett series to really say, "Oh my God, you love Star Wars again." And that did it. Thank you, Jon Favreau. Thank you, Dave Filoni.
Cured his PTSD.
Yes, you did. Very much so. What does PTSD stand for? What's the P?
Post-traumatic
syndrome. It had nothing to do with the military. I was going to put SWPTSD, Star Wars post-traumatic, Rise of Skywalker post-traumatic syndrome. All right, so to start off the show, we're going to talk about something that is relatively new that kicked off this week, Monday at Disney World, which is the Star Wars Starlight Galactic Cruiser. Lots of reviews have been going up about this new adventure at Disney World this past week. And to me, it looks really cool, but we're going to talk a little bit about this. I want everybody's input. So listen up. Let's talk Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. Initial thoughts on the reviews that you've seen, Ray.
How do I sign? I guess I need to go take out a home loan if I want to go do this, don't I?
Two mortgages. I get two or three mortgages.
About the the whole thing with Ray from the Ghostbusters. What was it?
Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought when I was.
I had to take it out in my parents' name.
Oh God.
But I don't know. I don't know if it does look cool. All the stuff I see looks great, but it is hard for me to justify that price tag per person. So I don't know that I don't know if I even believe all the reviews I see. It can be great, but man, you're paying, you got to pay firstborn child, just to be able to go to this.
Firstborn.
Well, what do you think?
Firstborn child. No, I mean, look, I'm with you. Let me put it this way: it's hard enough to justify like paying for tickets to medieval times. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty expensive. So it's like this is pretty much an extension of that with a stay and all that. And I'm all for it. The thing is the price is really high, and and a lot of it's pretty low tech gimmickry and stuff. I'm sure they probably use buses and things like that to move you around certain things with. Now maybe they have hydraulic systems and all kinds of stuff on the inside. Maybe that's whatever, but I'm sure that's probably what they're using for a lot of the experience.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, you're paying for the experience and all that, but I think also it's just what they banked on. Like basically the storyline I don't think is there probably because I mean I'm sure it's all First Order Kylo Ren era type stuff, right? So
it takes place between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
right. So it's
therefore,
like they
probably one of the most uninteresting times.
right, and so they're going to have to recover from that. And the thing is I'm going to give them a chance to do that because I understand that they were banking on kind of the Rise of Skywalker working, and some of the elements just didn't hit right. So I mean, I just felt like they should have probably stuck to the original trilogy era, just to be safe because that's just what everybody loves, and kind of dance along that line. Maybe like in the post, I would have put it right like post Return of the Jedi in that era, and so that you would have been able to experience like Luke and Han and Leia and all. Because that's I hate to say it, but that's what a lot of people want. And now we're starting to kind of go into that era where the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett are there now, and I feel like that's where the future is. So I wouldn't be surprised if they retool it to that era, like the park, the Galaxy's Edge park, the Star Cruiser experience. I feel like a lot of that's probably going to be retooled pretty soon, and then maybe the price point it probably won't come down, but maybe it'll be a little more justified. But I don't know.
It'll probably depend on how sales go too. In terms
That's the
of,
thing
like,
is you
ticketing.
can't, and the sales aren't going to be good because I just don't think people are going to care. Just like the ride at Galaxy's Edge is, I haven't even rode it yet. It wasn't open when I went. So, but the Falcon ride is great. That one's very easy to retool to any era. It really is. I mean, it's so easy. So I feel like the other ride at a certain point, they're probably just going to have to just strip it and put new animatronics in. Which is, I mean, really, actually, is probably going to be pretty easy. They can just replace like the animatronics with new characters, like just update it, and all of that can be updated. So I just feel like you're probably going to see that. So there's that the park having to catch up, kind of like how the spirit of Star Wars is kind of rising back up with the series again. The park takes some time to catch up. So I feel like right now that the Star Cruiser doesn't look too enticing, and the sales aren't going to look that great. But I feel like once they retool it, they'll see the numbers go up. I mean, think about it. They'll probably start putting stuff like, have a experience with Grogu on the ship and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll get to do all kinds of Mandalorian type stuff. I mean, that's what they're going to start going for because that's going to that's going to draw in a lot of people, especially with the fanfare of the show. Mm-hmm. And I get it. I get that they aren't there now, but that's where they're going to shift. That's got to be where they're going to go.
Well, I mean, Lucasfilm has that new book, The Scoundrel and the Princess, coming out. I mean, that's going to increase ticket sales to Starlight Cruiser or Galactic Cruiser tenfold because Han and Leia, took a honeymoon on it.
That's why it's like they better get on the ball if they're gonna retool anything. I mean, because that right there could be a moneymaker.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna retool.
Think about if they did that. What if they had cosplayers like they had the Han and Leia cosplayers on the thing, and they were to reenact some of that stuff or whatever and celebrate they had the book coming out, and then they're like, oh, this is that. I mean, it's corny. It really is kind of cheeseball in a way, but in a way, it's kind of cool to give fans a chance to witness canon.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be weird? Like if they'd scripted some sort of a wedding ceremony for Han and Leia that, I don't know, that'd be kind of weird. But
I do think I do think it'd be a while though before we see anything like that. Because for one thing, they just spent a ton of money just getting to what they are now. And then as we know, every giant company loves to do, they love to double down when people call them out and say something's bad. The last time we saw a company not double down and actually listen to backlash was Sonic the Hedgehog's first trailer. That was the last time. Every time since then, it's mainly been a lot of like double downs. Like, yeah, no, we're gonna, oh God, what was an example of something that they just double down on harder, like the DC stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, they are trying to correct their ship, at least in terms of the storytelling, but in terms of stuff like theme parks and attractions where they're, takes a
They've
million,
already-
multi-million-dollar projects just to probably change a narrative. This
right, and
it's
and
like
they've already
Westworld
invested
Light.
so much.
Yeah.
They've already invested so much.
Yeah,
That's why it's like it was kind of odd whenever they first opened that. I was like, man, that's kind of weird that they're really, because it seemed to be like that they were really going like, look, we're pushing Star Wars into the future. Like we're not getting stuck here and that's fine. I just right now I feel like we're still kind of stuck in the original trilogy era. I mean, I'm fine with that, but I just hope that if they're going to continue, if they want to build momentum for the park, they're going to have to start like giving me a reason. Like, are we going to get more stories in this era? Or whatever, flesh it out. But then at the same time, we're not going to have Kylo Ren anymore unless somebody else takes over and rises up and takes over as Kylo Ren. You know what I'm saying? It's not Ben Skywalker. It's like some
Bilo
imposter.
Ben.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like who could be?
He works at Bilo in his off hours. When he's not
Bilo,
trying to conquer the universe. He's working at Bilo. He's got to clean those floors. He's got to restock the.
I just immediately see Adam Driver in the manager's outfit, with the button up and the tie and the pocket thing, and he's got the glasses. Bilo Ben. I'm your manager, Ben.
Carrots. We stock them, Ben.
No,
some elk spillage over here.
I think the logistics on retooling it right now would be just, it is too cumbersome for them. Yeah, because looking at some of the YouTube video reviews that I've seen, I mean, from the time you step foot into that, cement box, you're immersed into it for 2.5 days or whatever it is. I mean, it's like every single choice you make, a different outcome happens from those choices. 'Cause they're pretty much listening. I saw one thing where they were talking about they have like this droid listening device inside your sleeping quarters too.
It's like it looks like it's an AI screen basically.
Yeah.
And so basically like an AI droid that you talk to, but it looks like you're talking to a droid on like a video chat or something, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So even things you say can affect the outcome of your stay there. So I mean, I just don't know that they have the ability anytime soon to just retool the whole story.
Right.
I would just test it and go in there and just not come out of my bedroom, just not come out of it. Just see if the droids are trying to. Did you know that the Empire is checking the floors right now? Maybe you should get out and go hide somewhere. Watching
Hey, it's
TV.
pretty cool if you like woke up other guests and like tried to go on adventures and stuff. Like come run down the halls with me. See if we can get some stormtroopers to chase us. And you'll see these tired like the tired, what do they call them? Cast members. Yeah, these tired cast members that are like, oh crap, I had to pick up these blasters and go like trot down the halls after you, like
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they're like 3 o'clock in the morning. Stop, rebels.
Stop, rebels.
What did you see?
Stop resistance.
The cast photo. It was like over 1,000 people.
That's a lot.
Just for this one hotel.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
And they serve it. I'm assuming they serve like all the food, probably from the park, and plus more stuff that's all themed like Star Wars.
It's all themed like Star Wars. And that was one of the complaints I heard, that if you like bring kids in with you, there's no like chicken fingers and pizza. It's all.
They don't have that. They don't have like the like
for it.
tauntaun bites and stuff like that. Nuggets.
It's all Star Wars looking type food. I mean, like high end stuff, like shrimp, but maybe with some food coloring on it so they look blue, or something like that. Just some high end delicacy that I guess because you're paying all that money, they want you to eat good too. But I mean, that was one of the things, like kids may not be into eating there, which kind of takes them out of the
but they'll probably adjust that too, which is easy. I mean, they'll probably, like I said, they'll probably have like little like I said, tauntaun bites or some nuggets or something, and it'll be like chicken nuggets for the kids and stuff like that. They should definitely have that. Speaking of all this, have you gone yet, or have you experienced the park yet?
No, I'm going to very, 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 very soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, aren't you planning on going?
Yep. Here in the next.
That'll happen next month or so?
Yeah. It'll no, actually next week. So. So I'm super excited about that. You know, that was one of the things, like right as the Rise of Skywalker was coming out was the debut of Galaxy's Edge.
Mhm.
And dude, I was so hyped for Galaxy's Edge, and then that movie came out, and I was just like, okay, we're not going to Disney this year. Yeah, no big deal. You know, I mean, it's like I could care less about Galaxy's Edge, but now I'm hyped again. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see all the cool stuff at Galaxy's Edge, especially go shopping. I've been saving some money to go shopping at some of the little places there.
Oh, trust me, we'll have to have a follow-up episode where we discuss your adventure.
Mhm.
But trust me, and I was going to bring this up with the Stargate, the Star Cruiser experience.
Mhm.
From the outside, all of this stuff looks crazy, and with Galaxy's Edge, I was always like, like it's cool, but at the same time, like it's probably going to be kind of cheesy and whatever. When you get in there, when you're immersed in it, it's magic. It's pure magic. So I bet even on the Star Cruiser, like you said, all the little things, it's probably, if you're a fan, it's probably pure magic.
Yeah.
Because Galaxy's Edge, you'll have a good time. The food, the food's expensive, but it's just neat how they do. I mean, all the special stuff, the drinks and everything. I mean, like you said, save that money because you'll find like a lot of cool gadgets, and especially the lightsaber shop, because I'm ready to go back. I want to grab a Dooku blade so bad, a hilt, like a Dooku hilt.
Yeah.
And then I want to build my own lightsaber, which I haven't done yet. So yeah,
so expensive.
Yeah, it's probably now like over $200 once you total the blade.
$219 without the blade, I think.
Without the blade, see, it's like crazy.
That's what I think. So I that's initially what I was gonna do, but now thinking about it, I'm probably gonna scale that back, and I'm just gonna go buy like just
a legacy blade.
Legacy blade, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I did. I went for my first visit. I grabbed a Luke Skywalker blade, from Return of the Jedi. With I think the blade or the hilt was like $129, I think, and then the blade is I think $40, $40 or $50. But they're like a blade, they're universal. You can put them in any hilt, and they'll be the color of whatever hilt you're using with those legacy blades.
Yeah, I think I've got it narrowed down to getting the Anakin Luke saber from
I got you.
Back, because that's the original. That's my favorite.
I was going to say they should have that one. I know they also have the version of it, from Rise of Skywalker where it was broken and reforged. I think they have like the Rey version. Yeah, I was going to say they do have that version. I would love to get the Princess Leia blade. Like her hilt, it looks great.
Yeah,
that replica looks good. Like that one my wife really wants, and I would love to get that for her, but I've got to get a Dooku hilt. I've been like, I'm just such a huge fan of that character, and his lightsaber in particular is just very, very, very. I love the style of it. It was always, and plus it was our first curved like lightsaber hilt, I think, in Star Wars canon, maybe.
Yeah,
not first double bladed, but I'm thinking of like a curved hilt. It just was, at least from what I could remember, and it just caught my imagination. I thought that was so elegant, and and now that they have one, I would love to get one. So
with the first two prequels, they were trying to add new things with lightsabers you hadn't seen before. So like double bladed was the episode 1. Episode 2 was like a two. You got Dooku with his fencing blade style, and then you also had I think episode 2 was the first time we ever saw using two lightsabers at once on screen.
Yeah, and then you have Yoda with a mini lightsaber, doing just as much damage.
Yeah,
and then the most epic, lightsaber battle ever in the third one.
In the third, yeah,
which hopefully we'll get to see again, or some form of it soon in Kenobi.
Oh yeah,
maybe, but yeah, I'll not to stretch out this Galactic Cruiser stuff too long, but I was watching some of the reviews, and they were talking about that you don't even get to see if you don't, actively participate in everything that's going on. If you don't talk to people, if any of that, you don't even get to see the entire inside of that ship. It's like you have to actually talk to people so they can point you in certain directions and say you might want to go check out Docking Bay 4 or whatever, and look under the the cargo manifold or something, and you can find like hidden doors and stuff inside this place that kind of that take the story to different places for you. And like I said, cameras are everywhere, so they're seeing everything you're doing, so that the actors know how to react to you.
And see, I would love that. I would want to throw on like at least. I mean, God, I would love to dress up in that world. Like me, it would be low key, like a like a Poe Dameron style, with the jacket and just like a little suit. But man, that would be awesome to throw a Star Wars style jacket on and run around the halls of that ship, just kind of getting into stuff, finding little gadgets and doors and things like that.
With how you're talking about that, it makes me think about how my mind's eye would see a theme park thing like that. Mm-hmm. And what I see when you're talking about how, you got to go talk to people and, mm-hmm. find out where to go. It makes me think of, what's the reality of that? Because, when you think of it, you're thinking like, you're just doing this on your own, but in reality, you're doing this with also hundreds of other people are also doing the same experience as you are. So mm-hmm. Are they coordinating? Like, are they like making sure, so like maybe you won't get the same answer, two people wouldn't get the same answer from, like, say the bartender. Like the bartender,
right. They won't just be
like he has different
everybody
answers. But man, you got to be coordinating that so that it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like you have 20 different random people that are suddenly like going down this trap door to see what's down there.
Oh yeah,
to make it seem natural and not just seem like it's another big, like Hogwarts. Every time I go to Hogwarts at Universal, it does kind of take away from the magic when you see when it's packed so many people. It takes away from the magic a little bit.
Yeah.
If it felt like it was something close to what you actually see in the movies, where it's just, just maybe 100 or so people just kind of walking about,
Well, that's what they limit the number of people that can come.
Yeah. It's probably
in a session. Yeah. And from what I can tell, throughout your adventure, and they do categorize this as like an escape room type adventure. It's like an escape room role play, a bunch of stuff built into one kind of adventure. At least from what I've watched, a fairly good amount of reviews on this thing, at least 10 reviews of the Galactic Cruiser, and everybody says every review that I've seen is a positive review of the the thing. Some people say there's some things that they would change and some things are not quite up to par, but for the most part it's a pretty pleasurable experience. But there are some things like you tend to lean one way towards the Resistance or towards the First Order, and some of that plays into how everything wraps up too. But I saw some little kids crying because the end didn't. I mean, it didn't end the way they wanted it to.
Yeah.
So Chewbacca get killed? I don't know. Right in front of everybody.
Oh God.
The rebels just get arrested. The Resistance just gets arrested in front of them.
Or yeah, that's
or something like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't kill Chewbacca, hopefully.
Or Rey was forced to escape, forced to run away, because I know Rey's part of it, isn't she?
Yeah, Rey. There is a battle scene between Rey and Kylo,
which we saw
that plays out around the rim of I guess that's the atrium or whatever you're in.
And they also showcase the new lightsaber technology.
Oh my God! Did you see that?
Yeah,
video?
I saw that video clip where they had to switch out between, because that lightsaber is made to only do that. It's not made for physical fight, for fight choreography. So they had to try to do a natural way for her to move the lightsaber out of sight of the people. So they had them fire. I think it was a laser blast that happens that she ducks under. Yeah. But the movement was very stiff and unnatural, so you could kind of tell that she's basically bending over, putting down one lightsaber down, and then grabbing the other one.
Yeah,
but I mean, the intent is good. They just got to really work on that choreography to make it look better.
They do, but I wonder how many people actually notice that when you're
Probably
in the middle of it. I mean, we're watching
and from that angle too. You're looking from the ground up.
Yeah, but I'm super excited. I mean, I wish I could afford going to it. Definitely not with kids. Maybe one day when the kids are out of the house and it's just me and the wife, and we want to spend $4,800 for two people.
I thought it was closer to 6,000 unless the price dropped.
Oh, I thought it was 6 for like a family of 3 or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. The last thing I heard was 4,800.
We could all be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. But
That's one thing I've learned in life is everybody's wrong.
Yes.
everybody is wrong.
We're all wrong.
We're all wrong. Rise of Skywalker was great. We're wrong. Well,
In somebody's eyes, it was.
whose eyes is that? Whose eyes?
I don't know. I mean,
no,
I can compliment it. I mean, I can tell you good things from it, but overall, I just thought it was the weakest of the new trilogy. But yeah.
I don't even know if I could say anything good about it, man. God almighty. Cinematography's great.
Nah, not even that. Well, some parts, but even that was overlooked a lot of times.
So, do we got any other news to talk about?
Yeah.
And Ray's like, switch, boop, boop, boop.
Switch it over. Okay, so let's segue into some of the live action stuff. And I know that we've got Kenobi coming up in what? Less than 2 months. So May something or other. We have Cassian Andor coming up at the end. And somewhere in there, they're going to stick the Bad Batch, hopefully.
Yeah.
I know the Bad Batch was scheduled to come out this April.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't it get pulled or get moved or something?
Yeah, for some mysterious reason, it got pulled off the schedule.
Someone deleted the last episode. They gotta reanimate the entire thing now.
Yeah,
for some reason, everybody's following. Everybody's like, you know what? If Kanye can do what he wants, I can do what I want. Like I just heard Larry Sanders. I've got Larry Sanders on the brain. Larry David, his documentary was supposed to air on HBO, and he pulled it at the last minute because he's like, I want to put it out in theaters. Like, why do you tell people less than 24 hours? You know what I'm saying? It's just weird stuff, weird changes. Adele's canceling stuff last minute. She's like, I got a big concert, and then it's like 4 hours before showtime. No, I don't. No, something like that.
Well, I think that one of the reasons they probably pulled this is they're hedging their bets with Kenobi. It's going to be such a big show. They want all the hype centered around Kenobi. And if you release Bad Batch at the same time, you got 2 Star Wars things kind of competing. Even though they're not really. I mean, the Star Wars fans, I mean, we would love all of it. But I think they really want the focus to be on this Kenobi series. So I can kind of see why they're pulling it. And maybe and maybe that, you know, some things happen in Kenobi that change. They may have to go and redo some things in the Bad Batch. You never know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
I would hope that they would like already plan ahead for anything like that would be that drastically in need of change.
Hey, you know what? You would think that they would plan out 3 freaking movies.
Well, I just say within the TV universe, it does seem like at least.
Oh yeah,
Dave and John are trying. You know, they are trying to do something,
right?
Instead of just play hot potato with everybody else.
Do something right.
Well, I mean, they're not even, you know, this will be one of the first projects that they aren't working on. You know, they're not show running this one.
Is Deborah Chow?
Yeah.
But
I mean, she was real good. Like her episodes were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really, really good. And it seems like we're getting John Williams back for at least the theme of Kenobi, which is awesome. I never thought we would get another piece of Williams music for Star Wars.
I thought that's pretty cool that John Williams is going to at least add contribute to the theme. It's kind of like Danny Elfman contributing to the theme of The Simpsons. It's like, or you know, whatever, to any theme song of a show. I mean, that's big to me. That's a big get because they could easily get Giacchino or Goranson that's been knocking it out of the park recently. It's pretty surprising that they got Williams because now we'll always. It's like he's already done the main themes. He's going to do new themes, and then now from here on out, it's like just if you were to do anything in that world, like if they, let's say, I know it's going to be a mini series, but let's say they did do a second series. Okay, we're going to do a sequel series to this. He probably won't have anything to do with it, so they'll still have to reference him contributing to original themes by John Williams, and I just think that's really cool.
Well, you know, I mean, Kenobi was at one time going to be a movie, right? So I think this is strictly a one and done kind of deal. I don't think they're going to go back. Even
Right.
though it'll probably be the most popular thing on Disney Plus ever, but I just don't think they'll go back unless, if you look at it, McGregor, I mean, does he look like the kind that would say, I'll come back for a season 2 of a TV series?
Yeah, I think that would probably depend on.
With it being
What?
a mini series, it's a
Yeah.
to me it's more possible, but like you said, it is like with the first in the time frame and also with the story material,
Mhm.
you're very limited, and so you can't really have a long going series. But I'm just saying, I just anticipate there being such a big movement to it that I bet they'll probably be scrambling to do something like some sort of a sequel, almost like maybe a book of Darth Maul or something, where we follow Darth Maul, his story or something while Obi-Wan's world's going on or something, but then it'll just be like new episodes of Obi-Wan or something. I mean, or Kenobi or whatever.
Well, you can't have Darth Maul in there. He doesn't know Kenobi's on Tatooine till Rebels.
That's true. Well, that's why I was trying to think of how they could at least play, because they introed Maul into the
Rebels.
The whole in Rebels, but they introed him in the Solo series. And I'm just feeling like there was so much wasted material there that I feel like they should at least try to tell some story of like Kenobi and Maul. I don't know, something there where Maul doesn't know where he is, but maybe there's either they tangle at some point, or I don't know. I feel like the possibilities though are there for something.
You just want more Maul versus Kenobi, don't you?
Well, you don't even have to be them. I just want more. If anything, I just want more Ray Park involved in a live action Maul, and to see him maybe just do, even if he's like they don't ever meet. I don't know. I just want to see a cool Maul sequence, like some good Maul story, but live actions, and they can still use Sam Witwer's voice and stuff. But I just want to see where all that came from in Solo, or where that leads to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a big gap between his appearance in Solo and his appearance in Rebels, because he's in two very different points. He's not static between those two. When we see him in his scene in Solo, he's head of the Crimson Dawn, I believe. And then when we see him,
but I was going to say, if you look, there was like that gap of like, I was going to say where, like Maul, like his, like you said, his mindset, where he was in Rebels at one point, there's a gap. And then when you see him again on Tatooine, you remember he's like a shell of himself, basically.
Yeah.
So I just feel like there's also a lot they could tell there too.
Yeah.
So what's the time frame between Solo, a Star Wars story, and Rebels?
Well, Solo was
10 years, maybe
10,
maybe 10,
maybe 12. Yeah. When does Solo? How long is Solo before?
I would say Solo is maybe 15. I'm just 15-ish before.
I was going to say 10. There's 20 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm thinking Solo's like 5 to 6-ish years post
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And then you've got about 15, 16 years of material.
10 years. Yeah, it's 10 years before the events of A New Hope. Okay.
Yeah,
So 10 years for him. Well, it seemed like he was kind of on his own, as almost like a peasant when we see him when he meets Ezra on what planet was it? But the planet at the end of season 2,
was it
right?
Of Rebels.
Or no,
it wasn't Moorband. It was another. It was like a Sith world. It had like that catastrophic super weapon on it.
That pyramid looking thing or whatever.
Yeah. So it looks like he's had a bit of a downfall in those 10 years or so. So that is a lot of story to cover,
That's why I was always wondering if they would pick the Kenobi series to tell that story, but maybe not. I just always thought that somehow because of the fact that Kenobi's the one that ends him, it's like maybe they would tie his life into Kenobi's story somehow.
Well, the shows have been pretty good at like popping surprises out on us so far. Like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett have been pretty great with popping stuff up that we weren't expecting in terms of story developments.
I just don't see Maul appearing in Kenobi.
Yeah, I don't see him. I'm just saying I'm I'm not going to go in expecting anything. Like, I'm just going to go in, watch the story as it happens, and I'm not going to try to get mad. Like, I'm not going to try to be, oh, that should have happened. You know, I think that's one reason why so many people got angry about Book of Boba Fett was they wanted Breaking Bad to happen, basically, instead of what happened in the show. So
while we're talking about Kenobi, is there anything off limits that you don't want to see in Kenobi? Anything character-wise or anything that you would say if you saw this,
Raiders.
it would just. Well, I know that if you
I'd
saw
be so
this,
mad
it
if
would
I
just
saw them.
totally wreck the show. Like from, I don't know, just changing the character's arc or what. Anything in there that would just.
From a storytelling perspective, for me, you know, in writing and stuff, I've gotten to where I don't mind, you know, a lot of this stuff. You know, if they try, and I see so many people get so angry at the prospect of anything. Like, you know, you have the people that are like, he shouldn't go anywhere. You know, he shouldn't even leave the planet. That's where he's supposed to be because that's where Luke is. So he can never leave the planet, or you know, stuff like that. You know, or the people who are mad about any Jedi. You know, if you reveal any Jedi now that, you know, survived the purge, people get upset about that because Luke's supposed to be the only Jedi. Remember what Yoda said? What was that word he said? You're going to be the last Jedi now once I'm dead. Yeah, because that's got to be, you know, that's you know, that's the spoken word. You know, you box yourself in creatively when you know, when you don't allow for anything. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's also good to restricting yourself creatively, because you can come up with stuff like, you know, you can come up with better stuff also when you have to work within a box. But stuff like this, you know, there's stuff you don't have to be too restrictive with. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's something I could probably think of, not off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's probably something that'll probably annoy me, maybe. But it wouldn't be enough for me to say I hate it. It's garbage or anything like that.
What if they like add more of the street gang from Boba Fett?
I like those guys.
You like the mods?
I do.
I don't mind them. They're fine with.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I love how colorful they are, and they definitely are a breath of fresh air in terms of color. When you look at all the other, like the sand and everything, you know, you see all the desert and Tatooine stuff, and then you got this retro punk band, you know.
I mean, what I love is that they remind me of like something you would see out of 70s sci-fi, which is pretty cool. Like, it's not something you see, you know, people avoid it like the plague now. It's, you know, you want to be all like junky and grungy space, you know.
Well, they also, to me, they look like what I would have seen
like
in the expanded universe in the 80s, like in, you know, like on the Droids cartoon series. I mean, they to me, that was how I always would judge a lot of that, would be like, does it look like it would fit in the world the way, like, let's say the way George said it, because that was, I mean, he was limited beyond the movies. You got like the Christmas special, you've got the cartoon series. Other than that, like with the books, comics, all that, that's other people taking his stuff and kind of going with it. But I feel like in a way, those kind of worlds he had a lot bigger hand in like the 80s, because he was really still attached to Star Wars. Yeah. So a lot of those looks and stuff, it's probably what he was going for. So when I see things like that tie back to a lot of that stuff we saw, it's like, yeah, that definitely looks like it fits in that world. Even a lot of the stuff in like the Force Awakens and things like that looked like it could fit in that world.
Yeah,
a lot of the new aliens and stuff.
I mean, there's precedents for mods, right? I mean, if you look at Darth Vader's a freaking mod, Luke's a freaking mod. You know, I mean, you get arms cut off and get replaced with mechanics. I think it's the way they were dressed. It was so oddball compared to everything else on Tatooine, right? And those bright colored freaking speeders that, you know, no grime, no used universe. This was straight out of Attack of the Clones. I mean,
well, it was just like when Thundercat showed up, and I mean, I thought he was like just a rapper that got a part in the show, kind of like the Ed Sheeran appearance on Game of Thrones. It's like it's like it stood out. And now, and yeah, I feel kind of bad because I'm like, all right, he wasn't just a rapper that got a part in the show. He was a good bassist. But it was just weird that he just had his normal like color dreads or whatever he's wearing. I would have at least made, if he's going to be in a show like in Star Wars, even though like we're trying to make a joke, like, yeah, that can be kind of spacey, just his normal look. No, he needed more stuff. He needed more prosthetics or something on. He needed crazier hair, all that kind of stuff. You really got to tie it into Star Wars. But no, I thought the mods were they fit. I thought they fit in all right, but. I did see there were some people. The only thing I think the biggest thing I could make fun of is that most of them looked like they were driving like Kirby and Hoover vacuums around the desert. Like, and I'm talking about they were like, like they had cleaned them things shiny, and they're like, woo, we go. Woo.
They were awful. They were.
I don't know. I thought they were cool, but they were like, wow, like they're different. Especially on Tatooine, they look crazy.
And those side mirrors, I mean, they had like 8 side mirrors on each side of the handlebars.
It kind of reminded me of the hot rod and teenagers from was it from Planet X or Dimension X in the Turtles cartoons? That's what they kind of reminded me of.
No, it kind of reminded me of Pee-wee's bicycle.
Hey, look,
oh my God, that would be awesome.
We're talking about a universe where you have a giant, you have a ship where the cockpit's out on the side. Where how are you going to judge your distance when you're going through a narrow pathway?
when you're piloting it from a pickle on the side of his big burger, like
it's like going through the city and all of a sudden
just think if that
half of his ship because he misjudged how much room he had on the left side of his ship.
What if the cockpit on the Falcon was like it rotated, so like the whole Falcon could just
it's like a B-wing
around, could rotate it, like a B-wing. It rotate. Just think if like they lost control of that, you're just like,
oh my God,
that's similar.
They're just spinning forever in space.
That's similar to the what's it called though? Isn't it kind of like the Outrider a little bit?
The
Outrider work a little bit like
the
that?
Outrider does that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I would the Outrider. I mean, well, it depends on what you look. I mean, like the toys and all that kind of stuff, we didn't really know what was canon, but I think it at least detached. You know what I'm saying? Like it would at least like an escape pod or something.
Because it did look like it did like little twisty.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
they're trying to do something kind of like a new version of the Falcon, like its own, hero ship.
Right.
I will ask: Does when you're aiming at somebody, a bad guy, does doing a 360 spin and shooting help you shoot better?
Probably not in Star Wars.
Like the mod did in Boba Fett. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I thought you were talking about in space. Okay, you're talking about just in a regular gunfight.
Yes.
I'll say it in the words of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
It's okay if it's dope as you know what.
Yeah. No.
And it was. It was dope.
No, this was not dope.
It was a dope move.
God,
I need to go back and see. I got to rewatch the series again to like take in all the choreography, but because I'm not remembering this move.
Oh my God! So it was like one of the.
It's the lead mod. It's the lead.
Yeah.
The black guy.
And they were standing by Chrysanthemum or whatever.
And they were getting ambushed. It was during the ambush.
Getting ambushed. So the guy did like this spin 360.
He did a flourish.
And then landed on his knees to shoot. I'm like, and everybody else is just sitting there shooting like normal. And then he just has to all of a sudden do the spin, and it magically kills the one guy who's shooting at him.
Well, okay, give it 10 years.
Spin.
Give it 10 years, and someone will add in some like laser blast for him to actually be dodging when it happens. So he won't be angry about it anymore.
No,
it's like, you see what happened was he was dodging it the whole time.
That I like the Book of Boba Fett, but that one scene right there, they could have kicked that guy out because that was horrible. That looked just like a Robert Rodriguez kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's like, Rodriguez.
Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Okay, so anything, Austin, that would that you don't want to see in Kenobi?
I don't know. I mean, I'm with Ray. It's pretty much fair game if they can write. I mean, I'll tell you what I do want to see. I do want to see more of like maybe some ties to Rebels, like they did with Ahsoka and Mandalorian. I do want to see like maybe even some like Zeb like Zeb's character. What was his
Species.
what's his species?
Lasat.
Lasat, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see that species finally
In
show
live
up in
action.
live action.
Oh,
So I would like to
yes.
see something like that.
Mhm.
But I mean, I feel like we're making headway. We're getting there because you had Cad Bane
Mhm.
on Book of Boba Fett. So, but I guess in terms of Kenobi, I really don't care. I mean, it would be kind of weird if they tried to bring in Mace Windu. Like if they tried to like say he's alive and put him in
Yeah.
this show, it would be kind of weird. I just don't know if I'd want that in this.
I
Maybe
don't-
that
I-
would be one thing. I would want if they ever do a Mace thing. I was just gonna say, if they ever do a Mace thing, I would want him to kind of have his own thing. Like give him his own
Yeah.
show, his own series.
I would
He
even
deserves it.
just let me. I already have a whole little short story planned out about that. So just don't touch Mace Windu. 10, 20 years eventually, I'll maybe get to do it if Samuel L. Jackson's still alive. There we
That's what
go.
I'm saying, like
Listen, Lucasfilm, I have a story. I have
They're
you go.
listening, believe
there
me.
you go. We're ready to go, and I feel like they should just keep him out of this series.
You know,
Save him
and
for Ray's series.
well, it wouldn't even be like a series. It would probably just be like a guy. My idea in my head was just like a little novella, you know, if they would ever even pick it up. But yeah, my idea in my head would have been after that and what happened, and you know, he probably watched the fall of everything he knew. I would say he just kind of goes into hiding and he basically just starts over from scratch. So my idea for a story was like he's living as a farmer on like a backwater planet, like something similar to Dantooine type. And my story was going to be like maybe there's an Imperial there and he's actually kind of on speaking terms like with him because the guy's not a bad guy. He's just kind of lazy at his job. And it's something like that doesn't have to be big ramifications on the greater story. It's just character focus. You don't have to have every character meet every character. I would like that just to kind of see an epilogue of what happens with his story. Or, you know, everybody else comes up with this thing like he has to go get revenge on Anakin, or he's got to get killed by, you know, he's got to get killed somehow if he comes back. You know, I would assume some Jedi that survived the Purge just, you know, vanished and just never did anything with the Force again, or they just stayed in hiding. They didn't try to go help the Empire, something like that. I wouldn't put that past, any of them that survived. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a decent idea.
General idea. Don't steal it.
Well, I've already started writing.
Crap.
I was gonna say I've already sent off the copyright and everything, trademark. So you're good. You're finished.
Time to start drinking. I'm gonna be in the next Ernest Hemingway. Stole my ideas.
So the thing I don't want to see is I don't want to see a love interest for Kenobi. I mean, they've already done that in the Clone Wars with Satine.
I will say though, they'll probably do it because of the
hope
fact
not.
that they've, you know, that and I'm with you. That's another thing. I really don't want him to do that. I just don't feel like he should go that direction. Like, oh, he's got to have somebody. I mean, if anything, it could be like an attachment, maybe an emotion, like because Luke is kind of his attachment. He's already making sure this boy is going to be safe, but he has to be detached from him at the same time. He can't be too close. So it's like I feel like part of his whole thing is that he gives up all the other kind of attachments. So yeah, I wouldn't want to see any kind of romantic thing.
Yeah. And I'm all in agreement. And I do before we go to our last little segment, I do think that we'll see Ahsoka in Kenobi.
I would
If
like
not-
that just for them to be able to, just that kind of closure for their characters to know that they're okay, to know each other's okay.
Well, if not Rosario Dawson, then a younger version, because I know they're doing some flashbacks to the Clone Wars.
True.
Because McGregor's already said in an interview he liked filming scenes with Anakin again. So as Anakin Skywalker and not Darth Vader. So he referred back to some Clone Wars scenes that they're doing.
Well, that'll be interesting in one aspect. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it'll be one interesting thing about the show is seeing these characters played by the original actors, but with new writers, basically. Not George Lucas's kind of sometimes stilted dialogue. You're going to have, much more experienced people. So hopefully, it'll be interesting to see how they do with the new directors and new writers.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be
I'm
able to
excited.
help them
I want
play
to
off each
see.
other.
Yeah, I want to see what Hayden brings to it.
Mhm.
Like now, it'd be interesting to see what he brings to the series.
Yeah.
All right, so let's end the show with the Star Wars hauls of the week, and I think this is going to be a segment that we do every episode, where we kind of show off what we got Star Wars wise for our collection the past week or 2 weeks or however often we do this. So, who wants to go first? Austin, you're showing a cup, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm just showing off my beautiful wife's beautiful cup.
Grogu.
Her little
That's-
Grogu Turvis cup. I don't know why I love drinking out of this thing, and it's just a cute cup. But no, I do have a small haul. I didn't get much Star Wars this week, but I did pick up the latest comics. I've got the issue 15 of High Republic. Issue was it 21? I think of the Star Wars main line, as well as still haven't read this yet. I've got issue 20 of the Crimson Reign Darth Vader.
That's cool. Cool.
Picking those up again. It's pretty interesting. The High Republic right now is like they're tying into the last book, so this is leading up to all the events of the spoilers, the events of the last adult novel that came out. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see where this goes from their perspective.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Ray, do you have any Star Wars hauls?
I'll do show and tell. Look at this book. It's called Force and Destiny. If you like RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, there's a Star Wars version. It's called Forces and Destiny. There's also 2 other ones, Edge of the Empire and Age of Rebellion. If you'd like to play with your friends and have a story, play this.
Screen. I wish you had like the like all the stuff, like the Tim and Eric stuff that flashes on the screen. Like it would be the best thing in the world. Like those, just
cool.
the art, even the art on the like the boxes, the books, everything looks so good.
Yeah, I forget about it. I keep trying to learn the rules, and then eventually I want to try to play it, get people together to play it. But by the time I try to get back around to it, I've forgotten the rules again, so I got to go read it all over again. So
that's what we should do. An episode of role play.
I'll be the. I guess I'll be the game master.
Game master.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Maybe we could even pull in some guest stars or something like that.
I was gonna say, it'd just be pretty boring with just me and Austin.
We could get Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, we'll get Mark.
He ain't got anything going on. We can just like get him on the episode.
All right, so I got a pretty decent haul this week. First, I'll start off with stuff I got from Walmart, which I just picked up. This guy.
Oh, nice.
Yep, ARC Trooper.
I like anything from that era, from the what do you call him? The Gennady, the Tartakovsky line of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Anything from that. I would love to get a Durg and an Obi-Wan from that.
Is it Durg or Dirge?
However you say. I always just say Durg, but it could be Dirge.
Has he ever appeared in live action for somebody to actually say his name?
No, he did. They did bring him back up, like he's now officially canon in the.
Okay,
yeah, he was on Dr. Afra in the Dr. Afra
you showed
series.
me that. Yeah, the comics.
Yeah, and which is awesome, but I would like for them to use him in live action or something, because he was an awesome character.
Vintage Collection.
Nice.
Queen Amidala.
Awesome collection. Amidala.
Yep. This is gonna be a while. Vintage Collection.
Ooh,
Darth
I
Maul,
really like that.
Mandalore. Yep. Vintage Collection, Luke Hoth. Yep.
So I've seen a good bit of those around.
Vintage Collection, yes. What? How you say it?
Alia Secura. I always said Alia.
Alia. There you go. Vintage Collection. Okay, and then I'm addicted to the Whatnot app. I'm just super addicted to it. I can't help it just because I find such good deals. So each of the next few things I actually bought for between $2 to $5. I only spent like $5 on a couple of them. The rest of them are like $2.
Okay.
So I got this.
Whoa.
Yep. I can't remember how much, which one was which about pricing.
Nice. I was going to say
cool.
I've got that one. Nice.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Okay.
Here we go. The Massive.
Nice.
with the Geonosian, whatever that guy is. This Darth Vader with a piece of Bespin on it that you can slice through. From Attack of the Clones.
Cool.
Be for Empire.
Yep. Supreme Chancellor Palpatine.
Now that's really cool. I don't know why, but I want a Palpatine, like a pre-Emperor Palpatine figure. Especially like I would love to get the one from Episode 1. I never got that figure.
I'm going all political here. Got Orin Free tie. Got some
Man,
senators.
that's a good looking figure too.
Yeah, it is, and it weighs a ton. Then
Fat shaming him.
Darth
Sidious. I need that. I never got that figure either.
Who is that? I can't tell who that is under the cloak. Oh, it's Senator Palpatine.
And then,
oh, wow. That's a nice landing. I like the cape on that one.
Yep.
The cloth cape on that.
Yep, it's the cloth cape. I'm not big into cloth goods, but that's my haul for the week. And most of that stuff, aside from the vintage collection stuff, which was all new, but the older stuff, like I said, $2 to $5, and I think I spent max $30 shipped for all those things from Whatnot. So yeah, you should go sign up for the Whatnot app and use it. You get $10 free first time you buy something. So you could get something for free, basically. Well, that's going to do it. That's going to wrap this episode of the Outer Rim News Show up for the week. Hope you enjoyed it. Any last words, Ray?
Oh, yeah, the romance thing. Let's see. Really good romance. I'm saying some rated R romance.
He wants Star Wars porn.
Oh, my God. Any last words, Austin?
Yes.
God, I was gonna say Gray Jedi, but now I'm thinking Star Wars porn.
See, we got it.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't even have any last words. Ray, who's this episode sponsored by?
Oh, it's sponsored by Coca-Cola. It's Starlight Coca-Cola. It's a limited time. Not really a Coca-Cola. Please don't kill me.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it for this episode. I'm glad that we are back finally. Hope to be around for a long time to come, and may the force be with you.
Later days.
Later, boys. Peace.